Hi everybody, sorry I haven't done a video in a while. I've been kind of busy, and we've been traveling a little bit. We're at my grandfather's farm right now. So, anyways, this is my grandpa's chipper, and he wants me to rebuild the carburetor on it. And it's got a Tecumseh engine on it. I think it's an 8 horse. Yeah, it's an 8 horse engine. And the carburetor needs to be rebuilt. So luckily last time it ran, it was run dry. There's the chipper. But luckily it was run dry last time, so he used it. But so yeah, carburetor needs to be rebuilt. The carburetor's right there, as it is with all Tecumseh engines. So, we'll get to it. The carburetor kit is an aftermarket kit. It looks like this. It comes with all the parts. It's from Oregon, aftermarket, like I said. And the original part number from Tecumseh is 632347, but the part from Oregon is 49-230, and that's the aftermarket part number from Oregon. So yeah, we'll get to it. If I can have my camera person hold this, just show you what I'm doing. Okay. So what you'll need first. I'm going to blow off all the dust first with the air compressor blow gun. So I'm just getting the air out of the line so that I can put the blow gun on the end. Get all the dirt off so no dirt gets in the engine. Alright, there. Alright, you want to stand back? Alright, so alright, got all the air or the dirt off the carburetor area. And I think it's a come show it down here. Yeah, it's a Torx. This is the intake here, and here's the carburetor. There, you want to take off the 2 bolts on the intake, and can you get down here and show the bolts right in there? I don't know if you can see them, but there's 2 Torx bolts, and they are a T30 bolt. So first you want to take off the 2 bolts back there. I'm gonna get a wrench real quick. But you want to take off the 2 bolts in there, or the 2 screws. But you want to take off those 2 screws in there, and if they're tight, you can use a wrench on the end of the screwdriver. You stand back and show. So I just put a wrench on the end of the screwdriver, but take off the 2 Torx bolts, or screws, or whatever you want to call them. And they look like this. So just set them aside for now. And got that one now. And they're going to be right under the muffler. So the other one may be kind of hard to get, but... And then you want to take the throttle linkage out of here. And remember which hole it goes in, because it does matter. And then you can grab that container right there. Just hold it right under here. And then there may be a little bit of fuel that leaks out of the fuel line if you didn't drain out the fuel. Right now I'm just getting a pair of pliers to take the fuel line off with. Let's see. Grab a pair of pliers. So it may be kind of hard to get off if you don't have a pair of pliers set handy. Just kind of twist it off a little bit. And then, there. This one was run dry, so fortunately it didn't drain anything out. There's nothing in there. So, that's the fuel line right here, and it connects right here. Can you show that? That's where the fuel line connects. So, here's your carburetor assembly. Your air filter's in here. Here's your carburetor itself, right here. The air filter's in here. Pull it back a little bit. So, it's your carburetor here, your air filter, and then your intake. And that connects right in there. And you can leave the gasket on there so you don't mess it up. So, if my shop assistant will come over here. Alright, Katie, can you come over here? So, you want to just set this out here. And first you want to take off the air cleaner. Can you come over here, Katie? On the other side. So there's just a little wing nut here holding the air cleaner on. And you want to just take that off. You don't have to get too close. So you just want to take that off, and then this one has a foam pre-cleaner, which is kind of nice. If there's any dirt in the cleaner box, you can just tap it out. This pre-cleaner is practically like disintegrated, so I'll attempt to put it back on next time, or when I put it back on, the air filter back in. This air filter is kind of dirty, and the carburetor reeks of old fuel, so we have some cleaning to do. So you can just set that stuff aside right there. So what you want to do next is take a 12mm wrench. This is a gear wrench that I'm using. But you're just going to take a 12mm wrench and take off the bottom bowl nut, which also has the main jet in it. And your rebuild kit, depending on which one you buy, may come with the new jet and new bowl nut, and it will also come with a new gasket for under that bowl nut to keep fuel from seeping out of it. So you'll want to replace that, and like I rebuilt the carburetor on my grandpa's HM100 series generator motor, Tecumseh motor, and I put a new bowl nut and stuff like that. I'm gonna grab a different wrench. Let me grab a different wrench real quick. And once you get to a certain point, you can just loosen it, and that's a pretty messed up main jet and stuff. So I'm going to replace it and pry that out. And that is a very dirty carburetor bowl. You can see it's gummed up and it's got some sludge in it. So I'm just going to take some carb cleaner. This is just AutoZone brand, but I'm going to take some carb cleaner and clean that out. And while I'm at it, I'm going to remove the float and get the, so I need to take this little pin out here, which holds the float in. So it's this little pin right here. So I just want to pull that out and then set that off. And the new carburetor bowl or carb kit will come with a float pin and a new needle. So here's the needle here. That controls the fuel flow into the carburetor. So as the carburetor bowl's got enough fuel in it, it floats up and closes it off. But then when it's got lower fuel, it will shut off, it'll open and let more fuel in. So here's your bowl gasket, which just broke. But see, it's broken here and it's really brittle. It's not going to run. These Tecumseh engines do not run right if you don't have a good gasket between the bowl and the bottom of the carburetor, because it will leak air. But fortunately, the new carb kit here it comes with a new gasket, which is this big black gasket. So I'll go ahead and open this. If I can. And get it opened up here. And it's going to be in a bag and then another bag here. And if you didn't get the part numbers for this, I will put in the description below the part numbers. And I may, if I find a good website to get it on, I may put a link to that. So there's your new bowl gasket here. That's for the bowl. Then here's your new main jet, which is that. And that main jet is what this part is here. And be sure to put a spring. You can see there's a spring right here. And the new carb kit comes with a spring, which is that. So this is the old one here. So you're just going to set that aside. And then here's your new bowl nut, which is also a jet. Here. You can see that. That's the new jet, nice and clean. So you can go ahead and put this spring here, which is in my fingers, on the jet screw. And then you just stick it in there and tighten it to about the same as the old one. So that's good there. I just set it the same distance, same size for now. So you can dump out the rest of your parts here. Here's the new pin for the float. Here's your new needle. And here's your new spring for the needle. And then here's your new washer for the bowl nut. So it's just this red part right here. So I'll set that there, put that away. And then these extra parts here are the Welsh plugs and other plugs and things like that I'm not going to replace. But I will save them for my grandfather in case he wants to ever replace them. So that's the parts you'll need. So can you show all these parts here? So these are all the parts I'll be using today for this carburetor rebuild. So we'll get to cleaning the carburetor. That's the old part. That's the old needle right here. That's the old one. And we'll put that off to the side there. So, let's get to cleaning this. Let me grab a paper towel. So, you can see this bowl here I showed earlier is really dirty on the inside. It's gunked up. You can stand back a little bit because it may spray. So we'll let that sit for a little bit. And while it's sitting, you can see there's carburetor cleaner in there. While that's sitting and dissolving all the deposits, we will work on putting the new float in the carburetor. And the insides of this do not look bad at all. So you can see it's pretty clean in there actually. So we will put our new parts together. Here's the float, which I was telling you about earlier. The needle gets this little spring here, which just clips on like that. Maybe. There. So it sits like that. You can see the spring is on there. Here. So, and then this long part here just hangs right. Whoops. The long part, it just hangs. Maybe. Just hangs like that. So we will put this in the carburetor now. And you just want to put that in there. You can hold it if it's going to fall out, like mine is, I think. So hold it right there. See if this is going to stay. And then just slide it in the needle hole right there. And the holes, or the piece of the float, the holes for the float, need to go inside the two little knobs. So we'll take our needle nose pliers and put our new pin in. Sometimes you just have to slide it around a little bit to get it to go in. Like that. There. So now the float is in and it's operating. So let's go over to the carburetor bowl here. Now just letting it sit for a little bit. I'm going to grab another paper towel so we can wipe it out. As you can see, all the deposits and everything that was in there have dissolved. And we can just wipe it out. And that's what came out. You can see it's really dirty. Just get the rest of these deposits out of here. I'm going to grab another paper towel. And that carburetor had been sitting for a while, so it didn't surprise me really that it was that dirty. So you just want to get the rest of the sludge and everything in there. Get the bowl really clean. A little bit more. Like that. So there's just this little spot right in there. Right back there that needs to be cleaned out. So I just put a little carburetor cleaner there. So now we have a clean bowl again. So you can see, nice and clean. Alright, so next we're going to put our new bowl gasket in. And that is this part right here. And you can see it right here. The old one was broken, so we have to replace it. But it just goes around the edge like that. It's easier to start at the back and then work it around, I found. So you just want to get it like that, all the way around, and There. So now it's sitting on there properly. Maybe just came off, so I'm just putting it back on here. So just got it on there all the way. So now we want to put this on, and this part here does not really matter where it goes. It just goes on there. You just want to get it on there seated properly in the bowl gasket, and then get your new gasket here for the bowl nut and your new jet, and put that in there like that. And get it finger tight so you don't strip the threads on it. And the reason I replaced the bowl gasket is because the old one, when I was taking it off, broke right here. So I'm gonna get my wrench. So it's finger tight now. You want to get your 12mm wrench again and tighten it up. And you want to make sure it's fairly tight so that it doesn't leak any fuel, which is not good. There. So it's nice and tight now. Now we're ready to put this back on the carburetor. And don't forget to put the throttle linkage back on. And the throttle linkage is seized, or almost seized. Let me put the lubricant on it. So I'm just trying to get the butterflies for the choking throttle working again, because they're all seized up, or almost seized up. So that one seems to be better. Put a little bit on the choke. There. Alright. There. Better, but it'll be good. So now let's go back over to the chipper here. And put it back on. So first you want to reconnect the fuel line right here. So it's just a little barb fitting. Nothing fancy there. And push it back all the way so that the holes for the... Oh, and first, before you do that, don't forget to reconnect the throttle linkage there. So now you want to redo or put in the screws and finger tighten them first so you don't strip the threads, because if you strip the threads it's messed up. So you just want to tighten it up a little bit. Just like snug it up for here for now, and then we'll go back and tighten it both. We'll tighten them so that, because there's a gasket there, and that needs to be, it needs to be on there straight, and it needs to be on there evenly so that it does not leak, because if it leaks, it's not going to be very good. But we will put those screws in. Just snug them up for now. And then go back with your wrench and on the screwdriver handle, tighten it up. like that, and then do the one really far back in there. There we go. So now let's put the air cleaner back on, or the air filter, I should say. And I don't think I'm putting that pre-filter back on because I don't want it to get sucked in and mess up the engine. So you just put that on there, and then put the cover over it, and make sure that stud is sticking out, and then you put the wing nut on and tighten it up. There. So we'll get that nice and tight on there. And then we will be done. So that's how you rebuild the carburetor. But yeah, it's running well now. So if you have any questions, write a comment below this video. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. See you later.